everyone, it's Elise, your kitchen shrink, and you're watching ETV, the place to be to create delicious fab health, food, attitude, and body. And today, it's Q&A Wednesday, but I don't really have a question per se. I get a lot of questions from clients about this, and so I wanted to bring this to you because I think it would be beneficial and be of value. So the new big wave or craze that's coming. I'm sure you all heard about gluten-free, and I did an episode about how gluten-free is not actually healthier, or it can be not as healthy. And I'll link that episode up below. And so this episode is all about corn-free and going corn-free and why you should be corn-free. So if you're not quite sure what GMOs really are, but you've heard of the term, let me clear it up for you. So GMOs are genetically modified organisms. They are organisms, it's kind of the reverse engineering of it. So they're organisms that are put into the seeds of the plants, and they're engineered in a way that keeps them resistant against bugs and insecticides, fungicides, different things like that, that helps them grow to produce a higher yield or more of a crop. So it really has nothing to do with our health. It really has to do with producing more of a crop to produce more money. It's a money-making thing. Basically, if it were up to me, and I would say, and you would totally have a decision over your own body and what you put in it, but unless you want to be an experiment, go ahead and eat genetically modified foods. And the thing about it, and how you can identify if a food is genetically modified, you can look, especially if it's not in a product or a condiment, or it has it's in a can or a package. You can, if it's a fruit or a vegetable, it's actually going to have the number 3 on the code in front of it. So you want to look for that, 3 or 4. 4 is conventional, 3 is genetically modified. So you want to try and avoid that at all possible. And the reason why we want to avoid GMO food is, number one, we have no idea what it can do to our bodies. So our GI tract literally starts from our mouth down to our butt, and we need to keep that as clean as possible, because if we're putting in food and we're getting toxins in, we have no idea what it's doing to our GI system. Well, we do, because you're starting to see a lot more of gluten-free people and now corn-free people. And when we dig down to the real reasons, we're actually destroying the gut bacteria in our intestines. And so that's where we're becoming really, we can't tolerate these foods anymore. So if you're trying to make some steps and some moves towards corn-free and gluten-free, and that's the other thing too, is that gluten-free, now they're taking out the gluten, but they're putting the corn. So other side note is corn, gluten, and soybeans. Those are 3 of the biggest top crops that are genetically modified, because they're just inexpensive and they're cheap, especially corn. Corn equals sugar. So you want to stay away from it as much as possible. And that sugar just feeds our intestinal bacteria, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So, and not so much the good bacteria. Let's talk about 3 steps to start transitioning you from corn to maybe a corn-free or corn-light eating lifestyle. So we talked about why corn is not so great for you. And of course, in moderation, and I would always say organic, when you can get it, and especially from the farmer, would be best. But when the first step is that you want to just find out what corn is actually in, because corn is pretty much in everything. And step 1 and step 2 kind of go together. So the second step you want to do is you want to make yourself familiar of all the different aliases that corn goes by. So I'll give you kind of a heads up. Corn can be known as corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, dextrin. It has got 1,000,001 different names and natural flavorings. And so you want to look around your kitchen. You want to look when you're at the grocery store, what different foods that you're picking up have corn in them. And so the easiest way to do that is just to pick up, this is just a really generic brand of ketchup, and you want to flip it over, and instead of just looking at the nutrition facts label, don't even bother with that. Look at the ingredients. Start there. So the first ingredient is tomato concentrate. Second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Ding, ding, ding. Third ingredient is vinegar. Fourth ingredient is corn syrup. Again, ding, ding, ding. salt, onion powder, spice, and then natural flavoring. And these are the things that we want to be concerned about too, because spice and natural flavoring, they're not really identifying what the spices are and what the natural flavorings are. So we want to be a little cautious because any company can put whatever they want in there. So be careful about that. And the third step is just to try to start making some transitions or shifts, as I call them, and you can call them lateral shifts, whatever you want to call it, from corn foods to, corn-free or corn light, as I call it. So if you're looking to make a transition, let's just say from pop or Coke, Coca-Cola, you would maybe want to start with, transitioning from pop or the Coke to Zevia, which uses stevia, which is a natural sweetener, and it is 0 calories. So you could start to make a transition that way. Another transition, because a lot of corn is found in chips, corn chips, any kind of chips that you can name of pretty much has corn in them. So one of my favorites, if you're a big Doritos or barbecue, Cheetos, whatever it is, fan, you can shift to pop chips. That's a really great alternative. It doesn't have corn in it. And you can start to transition there. And then even, you want to be careful even with chocolates, candies, things like that. Pretty much anything processed is going to have some remnants of corn in it. Even your spices, even baking powder. This is one that does not. It actually uses potato starch, but a lot of them do use cornstarch in there. Now you've got the facts, 3 simple steps and shifts that you can start making towards living a corn-free or corn-light eating lifestyle. So now I want to hear from you. Are you going to go corn-free? Are you going to go corn-light? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you start doing, how you start feeling. And for even more juicy updates from me, weekly inspiration, health videos, and whole foods recipes, get your buns on over to mykitchenshrink.com and sign up. Thank you so much for reading and watching, and we'll see you next week on ETV.
Fab Camp is coming soon. Make sure to click the link below to sign up for updates so you'll be notified exactly when enrollment opens.
Zevia, which is they use, what do they use? Stevia. They use stevia.